time is Dace vanished. Where are we? Oh, all your D6s.
Yeah, all D6s.
Where were we? We went down to the underneath of the tree.
Yep, you bent a hole in the lovely carved grate.
Yes.
That was so pretty and had a tree on it. You just burnt it,
Uh,
and then we went through that.
While this is happening, Dace is back at the karaoke bar singing his heart out.
Mm-hmm.
Do I make any money?
Did we
DM?
make it back to the karaoke bar? Is that where we ended?
I think we're still in the spider cave.
Still in the spider cave.
Yeah, so
Dace flipped out for one more song at the karaoke bar. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Let's continue with the recap first.
so we got past the giant grate and are just traveling down deeper.
Yeah, there's like a decline.
Eventually we find our way into almost like a cavern. Sorry, first we run into a lot of like little spiders traveling down.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Q has kind of like a quick conversation to discern
Yes, I do.
where they're going. They're going home, and so we follow them down, and we eventually get to a cavern, very Lord of the Rings-esque, where we see like wrapped in like spider silk bodies hanging from the ceiling.
Drakes.
And we discern that they've been there for a long time,
Because they're not alive. They're dead.
but they all have like a putrefied, is that what you should call it?
Yeah.
Instead of like blood, they're filled with like green.
Gooey
Yes.
fluorescent something or other.
We keep going forward, and then we find ourselves in like kind of like this big opening with a spire, and we fight a lot of spiders.
Big ones.
Yeah,
Well, actually, Cam casts Find Familiar on, not Find Familiar, Animal Friendship on one of them.
Yes, and like
And
talks.
then it like chats with us.
Yeah, we befriended them before we killed them.
Yeah.
And then we
On fire.
Yeah. We convinced them we meant no harm, and then we stabbed him in the face.
So I think you convinced them you were not harmful, and then you stabbed him in the face when you walked right up to this poor little giant spider.
I don't know if they were poor or little. So
Very well said.
Oh, did we loot them? Speaking of if they're
I think
poor.
that's where we left off.
No, we ended like right at the end of battle after Basil had just gotten the webbing off of him with Apoc's help, and you had just killed the last spider.
Mm.
And as you take a breath to kind of process what just happened, you start to hear stupid as Dace comes barreling into this cave, kind of covered in spider web, like one of the cocoons from the bodies is kind of stuck as he's trying to shake it off of the feathers on his arm. But Dace,
Yep.
we'll backtrack just a second. Roll a performance check.
4.
Oh,
You made a couple money in terms of copper pieces that were thrown at you to get you off the stage.
Oh.
2 additional copper.
I will take it.
But it seems like when your friends went down into the underfall, you slipped away for a final song at the karaoke bar, hoping to redeem yourself, and unfortunately failing a little bit before jogging to catch up. And you enter into this massive tunnel, just to catch you up, Dace. This massive kind of open cavern, like it is huge. You do not see the top, you do not see the other side. You can really only see this massive column in the middle that's kind of, the best way I can equate it is a like spinal column, where it looks like each section of this column is sort of offset a little bit from one another and has weird protrusions coming out on one side. Very symmetrical, which is very odd, but very decayed, covered in spider webs. And from the vantage point for all of you with the 4 dead spiders around you, there is still that like soft kind of very soft glow, this eerie white glow off the walls of this massive cavern itself and the column in the middle of it, giving this very kind of eerie, like a headlight in fog almost. And it is quiet as Dace joins you in this cavern. What would you guys like to do?
The like unique looking one. The blue, there was a blue one and the rest are brown.
There was a blue one and the rest, what you initially thought were kind of like a gray, you actually now see are white.
White. Okay. The blue one, can I just take my dagger and chop off like very crudely one of the mandibles?
Yeah.
Kind of like as proof that we slayed this beast.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy enough to do. I mean, the thing is not gonna, it can't resist. But you go ahead and slice through it and you do see like some green as you slice through some of the poison sacs. You have a spider mandible, a phased spider mandible.
Perfect.
What's everybody else want to do?
Spiders. I don't. So some of them were friendly?
They were essentially like charmed into thinking that Cam and Baron party were not hostile, but that spider is currently on his back, legs up, slain by your friends.
Yeah.
There does not seem to be any danger at this point in time, as far as you can tell.
Sir Basil says, seeing all of a sudden seeing Dace come through in the cavern. Dace, where have you been?
Trying to make some money on the street. And I just pull out these copper pieces.
Well, you missed one hell of a fight. And you see him just kind of brush off more of the web on his cloak.
Didn't you get covered in green goo?
And in goop, yes.
Yeah, the webbing is still very sticky on you. It is still spider silk. Just because the spiders are dead doesn't mean the silk has lost its stickiness.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know the reason why we came down here? Or was I just at the bar and then boom, right here?
No, you would have known beforehand when we were
Magistrate McGregor.
The magistrate wanted to deal with some of the theft and robberies and stuff, right?
and then when we were at the second location with Delilah and Charlotte, the kids told us about a monster, and so we're here to investigate.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Can I, so Apoc took a fang, is that what he, okay. Can I like
Blue
take,
spider.
can I take like an entire head?
So these things, like, these are giant beasts. They're huge. You can certainly try, but the head is, you know, bigger than you, Basil.
Why do
Are
you
you talking about like Harry Potter sized spiders here?
We're talking Harry Potter sized spiders here.
Hence why I just grabbed the mandible.
And in that case,
have a little claw or something?
You certainly can try and take the head if you want. I'm not going to stop you.
Can I
so
try?
I feel like
Can I try and
Wanna
scoop up
walk
some of
around?
the if there is any blood leaking out, try and scoop it up into a little vial or a little bottle that I have?
Sure, yeah. From where Apoc took the fang from the blue spider, if you want to go there, you see like
Sorry,
You see,
I was
like,
getting spidered out of me.
where you cut through the poison sac, so there is that, and then there's also blood.
Yeah. I'll take it from the cephalothorax, which is the front half of the spider, and then if the silk is too sticky, maybe it would be a little hard to collect. So I'll then proceed, if I can, to the cocoon bodies and start ripping open like what was in, or seeing what's inside those cocoon bodies to see if there's anything that I could pick up from there.
Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely able to collect what you want from the spiders. I mean, they're not going to put up much of a fight. So you can definitely add that. And as you go to the cocoon bodies, like there are a lot of them here. You opened one of them, but you mazed your way through the rest of them, like into double digits at least. And as you go, you can definitely see that these bodies have been here for a while. They don't look very, they all look very peasant-ish. Like the Perch Guard has not made it down here. Sort of situation you gather. They're all at different stages of decay, but what you kind of can gather just based on, go ahead and make a medicine check for me real quick.
Oh, I need dice.
Just so you can, just to see what you notice.
20, dirty 20.
Cool, okay. You particularly, Camembert, notice they all have that same emerald green in their veins, no matter what, all of these bodies. And based on the different stages of decay, you can kind of get a sense that these bodies were almost taken in groups of 4. Like 4 of them are at the same stage of decay. The next 4 are at the same stage of decay-ish with the medicine check of 20.
I'm gonna try and collect
But as for
some.
what you find, it doesn't look like there's any, a couple of silver pieces, nothing. These are all very underfall folk, very poor.
Okay.
Case.
All right, I'll pocket the silver and take some blood, but that'll be what I'm doing.
Yeah, you can add like 10 silver.
Can Sir Basil, picking up his torch because he chucked it at the spider, can he walk up to the spire and investigate it?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make a. Give me a second. Where do I put it? Go ahead and make an investigation, or make an investigation or a history check.
All +0, so. 10.
Okay. Okay. So you go up to the column itself, Basil. This column that's emitting this soft, eerie white glow. You remember first coming in here that there was no light when you first entered this cavern, and the only reason why this glow is happening now is when you put light in with your torch. That's when the walls started to kind of take on an iridescence of their own, or sort of luminescence of their own. And as you bring the torch a little closer, that glow starts to kind of get a little bit brighter, but almost kind of like the last little bits of life clinging to this light is what it reminds you of. And as you kind of like rub your hand on it and feel it underneath your fingertips, kind of looking around, thinking of your journey down, you are actually reminded of a story that you read in the copy of the Tales of Jovel the Bard that you pulled from Renner Grabel's bag. I'm going to send you a PDF.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Man, remarkable. If I can make a plug for it, it's excellent. And I'm going to send it to the group just so everyone can see it.
Oh, fun. And you are specifically reminded. You are specifically reminded of the. You're specifically reminded of the story, The Tale of the Crest, as you think about what you walked through.
Okay.
But other than that, you just get this feeling of being reminded of it. You can't quite make out anything more, unfortunately.
This is cool.
Okay, interesting. Just to help with the reading, are you able to, are you able to specify like what about it made me think of this tale?
Sure. Yeah, I can give a quick synopsis for everyone, but just so you have it. So the Tale of the Crest essentially tells the Tales of Jovel the Bard is a children's story. It's a collection of books to try and teach children the history of Humblewood and how the world was created, how the Amaranthine came to be. Like, you would all be familiar with the Tales of Jovel the Bard. It's just this one was Renner Gravel's copy. And Renner Gravel, kind of understanding a little bit about the journal that you had that's still in your possession, the history of Cambria, that was his copy, and now this is covered in scribbles of his own annotations of the story. And the Tale of the Crest essentially tells the tale of how, you know, the fairy tale of how the Crest Mountains were created in Humblewood. And the Coles Notes version is that before Humblewood was created, when the Amaranthine were still dominant on this plane of existence, there was a titanic monster that brought up armies of lightning and thunder and demonic entities of fire from the different realms of existence that would come to this plane and try to challenge the Amaranthine to take control and dominion over this plane, particularly over the world of Humblewood. And with each of the Amaranthine putting forward their own, the Amaranthine being the pantheon of gods, so Gaspard is one of them, or Henwin. With the Amaranthine kind of working together, both humble folk and bird folk Amaranthine, in conjunction with one another, they battled against this titanic creature and his armies. And Altus, basically the god of thunder, the god of storms, a giant barn owl type figure, was the one dealing the final blow, lifting this titanic creature up high above the plane and slamming it into the ground. And what you can kind of see in Renner's own scribbles is this idea of this story being very real and not just a myth. And the idea of the body of this creature forming tunnels under Humblewood. All right, Eric.
I'm not saying. What do you got there, Basil? What do you think?
Reminds me of something I read in that book, The Tales of Jovel the Bard. Legends tell of giant creatures that attacked. I assume I explained. I don't need to regurgitate what.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I just like, maybe Sebastian's just holding his torch up, trying to just get an idea of like the grandeur of how big this spire, possibly spine looking thing is. And kind of says, I wonder if this is one of the creatures.
You do not see the top of this, and you do not see the other side. It is just, with the exception of where you are, it is pitch black.
Well, do you want to be in here or no?
Mrs. Q, while all of this was happening, was definitely not interested in any of the goop and any of the spider guts and stuff. She was looking to see if she could find any unusual mosses living in the tunnels. Were cool and that she could collect and take up to the top with her. But in hearing this, like, her ears do perk up, and she does say, like, looking around and seeing just the vastness of the cavern, she says, it does seem a little large for humble folk to be able to make. And this isn't the way that I have seen tunnels made in my long years looking at tunnels, which she does in fact do, mostly because she can tunnel herself, but just has not yet used the opportunity.
Very fair.
So you think these tunnels are unnatural?
Mrs. Q is a firm believer in the amaranthine, so she is open to the idea of these legends being true.
Sir Basil says, looking at, I think he can't even see the top of it, just says, well, I certainly hope I never run into any of these creatures in real life.
Well, even if they did,
I don't know my sword.
well, even if they did, they'd be no match for you, buddy.
Sir Basil just stands up a little taller. Can he then, I guess, walk to the other side of the spire and try and check out the far side of the cavern?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, as you move around, like what you now assume to be bone does start to take on the light as you move your torch. It seems like wherever the light is currently touching at the edges of the torchlight is where the walls are starting to light up. So as you walk around, the other side of the column that was dark starts to light up a little bit to give you a little bit more of a glow. But from the other side, kind of holding the torch out, like you can start walking if you want, but you don't see anything now. And until the light starts to touch the sides of the walls as well, like it's almost like you walked to the complete dark side of the moon, for example. Like you cannot really see anything past your torchlight. The whole like 180-degree view in front of you has gone dark.
Can we light some spider webs on fire? Right? Are spider webs flammable?
We'll try.
Video games have taught me.
They are.
This is my world, Dennis, not
I'm so sorry. Can I try to light a spider web on fire?
Yeah. Yeah, easy enough. Like you can easily hold the torch out. It does flare up, but spider webs being kind of naturally weaker to fire, kind of a quick burn.
Quick
So
burn.
a little bit more light, but doesn't really stay.
But it's not like a chain reaction.
I guess a little bit, but not in the way that you're expecting it to light up the whole tunnel. The light is currently touching at the edges of the torchlight is where the walls are starting to light up. So as you walk around, the other side of the column that was dark starts to light up a little bit to give you a little bit more of a glow. But from the other side, kind of holding the torch out, like you can start walking if you want, but you don't see anything now. And until the light starts to touch the sides of the walls as well, like it's almost like you walked to the complete dark side of the moon, for example. Like you cannot really see anything past your torchlight. The whole like 180-degree view in front of you has gone dark.
Can we light some spider webs on fire? Right? Are spider webs flammable?
We'll try.
If video games have taught me anything, yes.
They are.
This is my world, Dennis, not
I'm so sorry. Can I try to light a spider web on fire?
Yeah. Yeah, easy enough. Like you can easily hold the torch out. It does flare up, but spider webs being kind of naturally weaker to fire, kind of a quick burn.
Quick
So
burn.
a little bit more light, but doesn't really stay.
But it's not like a chain reaction.
I guess a little bit, but not in the way that you're expecting it to light up the whole tunnel all at once. There are parts where it fizzles because it is still silk at the end of the day. It's not the most flammable material like gasoline.
Can Sir Basil, maybe he puts his torch down, like sticks in the ground, takes out an arrow, lights it, and then just tries to shoot it out into the darkness to see like how far it goes.
It goes until it lands, and you can see like the little bit of flame at the edge of your arrow, whatever that is, like 120-foot range or something like that.
Well, hold on.
Whatever the range is, like it has gone the entire way, and you just see the speck of flame. It didn't hit any wall.
What's it mean when there's like there's the main number, then there's a small number in brackets?
That's the range of your bow. So like the big number, the bigger number is how like the absolute edge of your range when you're making an attack, for example.
Okay.
So 600 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you shoot your longbow arrow 600 feet. It goes for the 600 feet until it turns just into a speck of flame before it lands. It doesn't hit anything, it just lands on the ground.
Whoa. Okay. That means this place is pretty huge.
Mhm.
Realizing how like vast this place is, he just kind of picks up his torch, heads back to the group, saying, I don't think we can explore this entire place. It would take us months just to find the edges.
Do we really need to fully explore this cave? I feel like our job is done.
I kind of want to know like why are the spiders here? Like what, like did someone put them here? Or like what's the mystery down here of the monster?
Maybe somebody told the spiders there was an even bigger monster and they came down here and they slayed that, and then after they slayed it, they got stuck wandering the tunnels and put up camp.
A good theory.
What if we stayed here?
Become
I mean, we would need food every now and then. We'd have to venture out to the underbrush and bring people back. That sounds like what they did.
I like where your head's at, Apoc.
There's 4 of them, right? We're spiders. We killed 4.
Mm-hmm.
And you said they were bringing them back in sets of 4. Yeah. I think we got them all. So this is our new home.
That's a firm no from me.
On to the next step.
Well, looks like I'm stuck between Miss Quillam and Apoc. That's an unstoppable force right there, and Apoc. So, so I think
I can tell you one thing, Apoc. You won't get any coffee down here.
Hey, I've got this. Cam gave me this. This is all the coffee I need. As I just glug, 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 glug from my unending bottle of coffee. What's exactly called?
Like the bottomless cup.
Yeah.
bottomless cup of coffee.
Yeah. Bottle of boundless coffee.
Well, I know you just fired your arrow off, and you could see in one direction. Maybe we could do a little bit more exploring quickly and then head back. Like, it's pretty late. I'm not feeling the greatest. just throwing that out there for everybody. And well, Dace, you look like you've come off from a bad show. So I don't know what.
I'm out of here. I do not like spiders.
Good news, they're all dead.
Well, there's all the little babies.
Yeah.
Babies?
Well, the little ones that we met on the way down,
Yeah,
they were all heading this
Did
direction.
we notice any of them around us like reacting to the fact that we just killed mom and dad?
I mean, you're quite a bit bigger than little spiders, and I can hope that you move a little bit faster. So you saw them a bit of the ways up the tunnel. I don't think they'd quite make it back yet. But Mrs. Q, because you were talking to both big and small spiders, you get the sense that it's very much like a Harry Potter situation where the small spiders just kind of exist in cohabitation almost with the big spiders.
Okay.
They're not the same species, is what you would gather from your conversation.
Okay.
These big ones seemed different.
Perhaps then we could set up camp and investigate a little bit more. And then when we are rested, we make our way back up.
Well, we did come down here in the middle of the night, so
Yeah, you guys haven't slept in a while, right?
I'm a little exhausted.
I've been sneaking sips out of your cup there.
How many have you taken? How many sips?
Well, I don't really count them.
Okay, there's still coffee.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that the plan then?
maybe we
guys?
should get back. Maybe we
Yeah,
could
'cause
kill.
if we do run into anything, I'm worried about our collective strength in repelling them after killing these big things. So
See, just to clarify, you want to stay
To
down here
rest.
or you want to go back upstairs? Back upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, so we went back up. Okay.
I do not want to sleep here.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, like, if we were gonna stay, Sir Basil wants to make like a giant bonfire out of these spiders' bodies.
Oh, that would be fun.
Make as much light as possible down here
This
and
is,
burn them.
this is a bad idea.
Okay. Well, we don't have to. I mean, what does the group want to do?
Burn. I'm down.
I wouldn't mind the fire. We haven't had a campfire in a while.
Are we assuming that the regular laws of like gas buildup in enclosed underground
This
spaces
is a
is the
giant
same?
cavern.
It's
I shot
600
it out of 600 feet and didn't hit anything.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that there's not like gases that are flammable down here or anything.
Yeah, but he
Literally
shot that
just lit a
10
fire.
minutes ago.
if I
Yeah,
go out in a
look.
ball of fire, I go out in a ball of fire. Let's light them up.
Self, sir. This apron has already
Yeah.
been singed once.
We start a fire and burn down Elderheart. It's like, oh, sorry.
I mean, I've been outvoted, so
Sir Basil starts just like hacking at the spiders to drag them over into a pile.
Nice.
Mrs. Q made a different small fire, seeing as we're going with fire,
And you make
to cook
food.
on because I'm not cooking on spider bodies.
Oh,
But I-
how you guys have grown as a party
I-
from
I-
spider stew.
Uneven heat.
Maybe we can set up camp by the spire.
We're not staying down here though, are we? I thought, are we not just gonna burn the spiders and then go back up?
We're resting.
Yeah, I thought we were taking a long rest.
Oh, I thought we were just burning and dipping.
And let's consider a short rest.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay.
So we're literally just burning them. And
I'm gonna
walking.
light a few torches and chuck them, and then suggest we get going.
Okay.
Do we want to take anything else from the bodies as evidence? Can I still take a head? I want to take a head.
You want to take a head? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'll go over to
Spider
like one of the
head.
brown spiders and just chop its head off, and I'm gonna strap it to my back and walk around the spider.
sure. You can definitely do that. You have a spider head. It's dead. It's like you could cut through it and hack through it.
Cool.
I'm not gonna make you roll for that, but you have a like giant bloody spider head. Is this the blue spider or is this the white one? One of the white ones.
Which one did Cam cut through, or was it Apoc that cut through?
I ripped like the jaw out of the blue one.
I'll get the brown one.
Okay, it's a white one, not brown. What you initially thought was like a gray, light brown kind of coloration for the spider. Don't look at the picture.
Okay.
But they're all white spiders.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
what initially freaked Cam out a little too much.
Spider. Cool. We check our torches. It burns up, and we say sayonara and turn around.
All right, so thanks, Eric. Everyone is heading back out the way you came, back up the tunnels to go back to the surface. Is that what I understand?
Should we close the tunnel? Wink, wink. Destruction. Wink, wink.
We might need to come back down here though. There's a big cavern.
I think at least we should try and repair the grate, the hole that we burnt through the grate.
Yeah. Okay. I would say, yeah, in the event that we need to come down and look at this.
How big was the grate?
It was enough that Sir Basil could easily fall through, and then everyone else had to kind of like wiggle through.
Was it like 5 by 5 or something?
The grate itself was massive. The hole that you burned through was, yeah, like just like a round hole big enough for like a basement window.
Okay. So if everybody's through, I'm like, here, I can fix this. And like I walk over to it. And just little performance anxiety. So look away. Are they looking away? Are they looking away?
Dace.
Okay, look, and then you see a replacement grate there.
Oh.
All right, let's go.
Is that an illusion or did you actually fix it?
Nothing to see here. Let's go.
Oh, geez.
Insight.
I was gonna say,
I kind of know what he did.
Yeah.
I was like this. I was like,
It's definitely real.
looks good to me.
Mrs. Q's too tired to argue and just bubbles on her way.
Yeah, it's minor illusion, by the way.
Okay.
yeah, so it's easy enough for you guys to make your way back out of the tunnels. You don't encounter anything and fixing the grate as you go through. But as you start walking your way back up the streets of the Underfall, now that you're back, your ears kind of popping because you were so far underground. You walk out, the city is starting to wake up, is what you gather. As there are a few more people on the street than when you left. You do kind of see, like, the way Alderheart glows is that brightness from the actual tree itself that seems to glow when it's daytime and start to move into a twilight when it's night. So it always simulates it even though you're completely inside a tree. It happens in the Underfall as well, just not as pretty due to the fact that it is always underground. And you do pass oh boy, I forget it now. You do pass the tavern from Charlotte, Delilah, and the Gerbine children that you met 8 hours ago. And as you start to work your way back up the tree into the upper Underfall, lower Trunk Market, you do start to see more and more people coming out as it looks like the sun has just risen. And you pass by a particularly rowdy bar that Dace does recognize as, well, you all would recognize, but the karaoke bar, Kariga's bar. I don't have the name up right with me right now.
Hopping.
I think it was the Hopping Stump. And as you go to past Kariga's bar, there looks like there's this just riot going on. It's super lively. Like Dace, when you left, it was lively, but this is like lively. And you can see Kariga, the very eccentric owner of this tavern, kind of arms slung around somebody else, a flagon in his hand as he's sort of singing and sees you all. And, friends, wow, you look like you have been up all night. You look terrible, but I hope you had as good a night as we did. It was joyous and amazing and wonderful. You need a drink. You need a drink. Come on, we're celebrating. It was a wonderful night. You need a drink. Come here. And before you can even just like say anything, he'll kind of like grab you all, pull you in, shove drinks in your hands as this bar is just up in arms as you can kind of see on stage like a male and female servant that are just like, they're embracing, they have the microphone in their hand still. They're just having a wonderful time.
Come on,
after what
Mrs.
looks
Q.
like a karaoke song. Sorry.
I said, come on, Mrs. Q, let's go.
Mrs. Cute just is like standing there with a cup in her hand. Her eyes are like, and they're bloodshot, and she's just, yeah, she's so tired, and it's just a little too much sensory stimulation for her poor little hedge
Imagine
brain right now.
Sir Basil's like covered in webs, covered in dried spider guts, with a dead spider head on his back, just kind of just like drinking his drink.
Karigo will just be like, my friends, I swear this is going to be great. And as he kind of stands up on his own bar, like that 1940s shirt sleeve up, collar popped and everything, he'll kind of bang his foot on the table and raise his flag into his packed tavern as he just kind of like screams out loud, friends, such a joyous occasion that we were here to witness this moment, to Sean and Andrea who just got engaged.
What?
No way!
Yeah.
Oh, further away.
Congratulations! Wait,
When did this happen?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Congratulations!
congratulations.
Oh, I'm
That is
overjoyed.
Amazing.
We can jump back into D&D as long as everyone's good to go. Kariga is a very party-centric person, so as long as you guys are quiet, you can definitely slip away, or you can stay for the party. Totally up to you. I'll let you choose what you want to do. From picking up right back where we left off with some very bleary-eyed, spider gut covered humble folk. I don't know what you guys are calling yourselves yet. Inside the hopping stump of Kariga's bar. You guys were heading somewhere. What would you guys like to do?
Sleep. Find a
Yeah,
room.
We should probably do a good sleep.
All right. Are you heading back to the same tavern or the same bar you were at before, up in the Canopy Market?
Yeah,
Which was
okay.
called the
It's called the
Golden Galleon.
Yeah.
So you are able to make your way back up, no problem, to the Golden Galleon. You do get a few. Everybody who's on the street that'll kind of like notice you, particularly in the Trunk Market and the Canopy Market proper, since they are more bustling areas. And the Canopy Market is a little more prim, proper, and clean. And you are very much not at this point in time, with one of you having a spider head strapped to your back. But you're able to get back into your rooms in the Golden Galleon, and you are able to take a long rest, no problem.
Hey.
Falling asleep to the smell of a continental breakfast. It is that early in the morning. But you do all wake up refreshed. I would say it's probably closer at this point to like a noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon sort of time. When you slept through the whole morning, getting into bed basically right at sunrise. But the day is yours now that you've had your long rest after an adventure in Neverfall.
I am the same room as Basil, with the spider head just in the corner.
That's what you want it to be. Spiderhead was definitely staring at one of you all night long.
Yeah.
Ew.
8 eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I could not sleep. Yeah. Jeez.
Is everybody kind of just like going to be puttering around for the morning? Is that the plan? And like, are we taking off at any point? Because I think we had to follow up with the magistrate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should probably
But, like,
do that.
Do we have like a couple hours to maybe take care of some stuff in town, or?
I feel like we should just go to the magistrate first thing.
Okay.
Well, I mean, depending on what you want to do, like we could probably like spend a couple hours doing something.
Well, if you guys want to head, I kind of left on the magistrate on bad terms, I feel like. So maybe like I'll let you guys handle that.
Okay.
What did you do?
Messed up his office.
Oh,
Yeah, I talk smack. I talk a big game, and I don't know if I'd want to go back there if you guys are. If that's cool with you guys.
I guess we can meet you in the market. Fun.
All right, cool.
Can I, before we head out, like, I assume maybe Sir Basil gets up a little bit earlier to like clean off his helmet and clean up his like cloak. So like he's just got like a ball of like web and gets all the like guts off of him. You know, kind of like soldier discipline. You know, you got to clean your uniform every morning, rub those boots.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you if you want to clean yourself up or if you want to sit in spider guts all night. That's
Sure.
totally up to you guys.
But can I like collect all the spider web so it's like I have an item of just like spider web?
Sure.
Cool.
It's real gross.
Can I, Apoc? Since I'm gonna be in the market, did you want me to like restring your bow or get anything like cleaned up while I'm down there? I'm gonna be cleaning up some of my own stuff.
you know what? I think you can get some bling for this hat. I like the feather, but let's see if we can add something to it.
Some bling you want me to get some bling for the hat?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I gotta change my look every now and then. Keep it fresh.
Okay. Do you mind if I borrow your bow for a second? I can definitely get you some bling.
Do you want a bow?
Well, the one you use.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah, why not? I give him my bow. I've got a frog hat, but I also have a feathered hat. A really large blue feather.
Well, you can. I'll get some bling, and you can attach it yourself.
Perfect.
How's that sound?
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
And the rest of us are heading to the magistrate.
Yep.
Do we know what we want to like? How do we want to handle this?
Well, we can tell him that we
Boss died.
need to.
We got guts.
Right on his desk.
You
Why
can say
grab this job?
Hmm?
we dealt with two problems. Not only did we deal with the thieving, but we also dealt with the disappearance of people in the underfold. So
Okay, fine.
take that.
I'll let you take the lead, Mrs. Q.
Oh dear. Okay.
We head up to. So Basil puts the spider on his back. We head up to the upper portion of Elderheart.
All right. Okay. So we have team magistrate and we have team individual market. Individual market. We'll go team magistrate first, just in case you want to meet up in the market later, as long as you're cool with that, Cam.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We'll go team magistrate first. So as you kind of split off in front of the Golden Galleon, you Ken heading down to the, well, actually Ken can choose where he wants to go, but you guys heading up to the canopy, into the council plaza, taking the stairs, the elevator, whatever you prefer. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's definitely bustling a little bit. You do see the perch guard, very heavy presence here as their barracks are constantly having people coming in and out, either in uniform or in just those emerald sashes. You do see somebody kind of at a a big board right outside of the staircase that leads up to the council chambers themselves, kind of like hammering in a poster before he picks up his little box with his tool and makes his way to the elevator itself. And you're able to make your way back to Magistrate Gregor Thornspur's office. It's a different guard on duty outside. You're asked to check your weapons unless anybody is trying to sneak some in. We asked to check your weapons just like yesterday.
I still don't hand over my walking stick.
My fleas disappear into the fur, but I hand over my dagger.
Hand over my sword and bow.
And I'll hand over my great axe.
And then he climbs
my
into the
God.
box because his body is a weapon.
Yeah. Sir, we still cannot have you in the box. It's too small. Please go with your friends. But you are able to make your way back up that very narrow hall, up that winding staircase at the end of the hall to the outside of the magistrate's office. There isn't a lineup like there was yesterday, although you do pass that same, I believe she was a servant female that you noticed yesterday. She's looking a little more,
She's civil servant?
haha, very funny. I can't believe I'm wearing that. She's looking a little more upbeat, a little spring in her step. Still clutching like another piece of parchment, but much happier and less subdued than she was yesterday. But as you come outside the grand doorway with another guard posted out that'll kind of usher you in as soon as you hear the magistrate's voice, you are back in the office with the magistrate of Alderheart, who is standing behind his massive desk. You can see a lot of paperweights that weren't there yesterday. Definitely trying to keep files down. There's been a little bit more of a block to prevent any wind from blowing in since his office is on the outside, built into the outside of the canopy itself. And he's wearing this very regal, like purple with silver threading robe. And as he just sort of pushes the glasses up his nose, well, I wasn't expecting to see you for quite some time. You mean to tell me my little problem's already been dealt with?
That's exactly what we're here to tell you.
Very
So Basil just walks up and like, explain. Can you describe what his desk looks like? Just like I want to imagine this in my head. What's his desk situation?
His desk does not look like mine currently. It's much cleaner. The desk itself is actually built into the floor. So when the tree itself was shaped, they pulled the desk out of the floor. It's very ornate with a lot of scrolling. On the desk, there are a few stacks of like spare parchment with an ink and quill. There are kind of some like books that you guess might be there for show. It's got like illusion, magic, advanced and stuff on the spines to really kind of give this very noble impression. There is the crest of the magistrate, like sitting almost like a plaque on the desk itself. And there is a very large piece of parchment that what you assume is like one of those big calendars with a list of the council meetings as well as like file numbers for who is to see the council that day. There's no bits of information out, as despite you may think of the magistrate, he is fair. He's mentioned that before. But the files all seem to be behind him, now with the paperweights on it, whereas before it was just sort of there.
Okay. All right.
So,
Well, I will wait to do what I wanted to do.
okay.
I'll let you keep talking.
So my problem is solved, then you're saying.
Yes, your problem is solved.
That's wonderful news.
So are you gonna keep up your end of the bargain?
Can you assure me that the problem is solved, or is this going to be something that you say is done, and yet I find out in a week from now that I still have issues? I can't keep my end of the bargain if you have not kept yours.
Well, as proof that we are effective, we also dealt with another problem that maybe you didn't even know you had, Mr. Magistrate, which was issues with people disappearing in the Underfall. But we've managed to handle that one as well.
As you kind of mentioned that, he'll sort of like, from a standing position, kind of like lean back almost just onto his hip, onto one foot. We've heard rumors of disappearances, but there's been no leads, no evidence. Refugees come and go. You're saying there was something, my dear?
Yes, there was. And it's gone.
As she says that, Sir Basil just walks up and just plops his head on top of his desk, on top of all his papers. Just
Perfect.
Okay. I'm gonna get you, Mrs. Q, to go ahead and make a persuasion. Make a persuasion check, and I will give you advantage due to the massive spider head.
Cool.
Just because he wasn't sure that this was a problem, and all of a sudden you have a massive spider head on his desk.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's an 11, yeah. 14 plus 16.
As you throw this massive spider head on his desk, he's a bit of an older gentleman, and you visibly see him like out of nowhere, because you are small enough that if you approach the desk, he wouldn't actually be able to see you. The desk is quite high. So this head kind of comes up and lands on the desk, and he'll recoil, pulling his hands off of the desk and just, what is this?
It turns out you had a den of giant spiders living in your basement here in Alderheart.
Sir Basil climbs up onto the table, and then because it's like a dead head, I'm guessing the fangs are just kind of, and he's just kind of like, imagine your hand on the fangs. He just comes up and starts going like playing with it in front of him, just to show like menacing type thing.
Oh God, the second one's moving.
At this point, he'll kind of like sit down, just, these people were dying in my city.
Mm-hmm. There were dozens hanging from the ceiling in the...
Hundreds.
Deception check.
And we burned them all down.
12.
12? Okay. He's in enough of a bit of like a state of shock almost right now, where he kind of like goes to put his elbows down on his desk to hold his head, and then realizes that he's face to face with 8 eyeballs before like standing up once more from his chair and kind of moving as far back as he can. Giving you a bit of an odd look at this time, Dace, just with the hundreds. They're gone. This den of spiders, they're gone. They're not gonna hurt anyone else. You're certain of that.
We killed all the ones that we could find.
Do you know how they got in? Something
No.
that can seal off, something that they're living in, they're feeding. My job to protect this city, and we are so short on manpower and perch guard, and we can't be everywhere at once, but if there's some place we can barricade.
Wait, I got a question for you.
Yes.
You showed on people. Why do you limit to just the perch guard?
Perch Guard are specially trained soldiers. Their allegiance is to Aldahar. They have been, we're short on Perch Guard because we've been attempting to help the other villages with the fires, but it's starting to become too much.
What about a humble guard?
Humble folk are welcome to join the Perch Guard.
Okay,
It's
sorry, the
not
name
strict to.
the
to
name
very
just
folk.
sound very exclusive.
Simply called that because, as you can see, Aldahar itself is the biggest perch that we have in Humble. But you have seen humble folk as perch guard.
Oh, okay.
It's not exclusively bird folk, particularly in the villages you've passed. There have been humble folk perch guard.
Okay. So I just figured it was a whole bunch of murderers.
No, that's fair.
This dog.
Sorry.
Are we the humble
Okay.
Are we the humble guardians?
We could be the humble guardians.
Oh, I like that.
Humble guardians of the something there. There's something.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
Sir Basil mentions to magistrate the ornate grate that blocked the passageway down to the cavern. That if he wanted to protect his city more,
I'm
that
still
would,
here. I'm just.
That's fine.
that if he wanted to protect the city more, that would be where to reinforce his guards.
Oh. Well, we'll have to ask some of the artisans to maybe patch it up for us. But we'll patch it up. If you say that you've killed them all and there's nothing left in the root itself, in the system itself, then we can seal it off. Nothing gets in and nothing gets out. Thank you for doing that. You can kind of see just his face almost squish up at having to say the words thank you, but it's unfortunate that it wasn't brought to my attention sooner. Council does not know.
And what if the council did know?
Might have been able to have someone identify it. We have patrols going through the Underfall every night. No one really noticed a break in the grate.
So does this mean you're going to take our request seriously now? We did alert you to something that's been going on, something that could prevent something bigger if somebody acted sooner.
Mr. Apoc, I am a man of my word.
That's good to hear.
I gave your party my word that if this issue of the thieves did not need to go on the agenda to be heard by the council, then yours would take its place, and I plan to honor that.
Okay.
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
Essentially, that if the case of the thieves did not have to go on the agenda for the
Oh, I
council,
see. Okay.
that the magistrate would honor our request to put us ahead.
Okay. So upon hearing that, Mrs. Q, who's like wasn't sitting, she was just standing. Oh, thank you. She says, "Oh, well, that's excellent," and she walks around to the other side of the table and stands bending over his agenda and starts looking through and says, "Okay, which is our spot then?"
Maybe she has to kind of like move the
Yeah,
spider
maybe I
thing out of the
shift the head
way,
over.
kind of like.
Absolutely.
I start looking through his calendar.
I mean, you just see numbers. Like, you don't see names, you just see numbers, times, schedules. It's definitely the schedule for the council, but nothing you can identify as like one request versus another, for example.
Right.
And he'll just kind of like almost try and brush your hand off without making contact with the spider. Just information in here is for the council only, if you please. But the council was meant to hear the issue of the thieves and apparently the issue of this spider nest, spider den, tomorrow before the festival. in the morning, first thing at dawn. So as long as you are fine with that, that is when your request will be heard by the council. Not recommended to be late. They have quite a few requests to make it through.
What are the other requests? Can you just give me one? I just have a question.
Persuasion check.
Yeah. Persuasion. 13?
13.
I only ask because I want to use it as an example for something. So.
One sec. Here we go. Okay. One second. Give me a second.
No problem. I understand it takes time to flip through that ledger and track down the specific notes of tomorrow's meeting.
Very happy you understand.
Yeah, especially with all these paperweights, it takes a bit to lift up them all and find which one you're.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing after this engagement yesterday. 13.
Yeah, 13.
Okay. These requests can range from menial things. Had a couple requests of someone's garden being taken over by creatures
Okay,
that needs to
Caesar.
be exterminated.
That's-
We've also had requests from places like Winnowing Reach, which your friends have mentioned you came from,
Yeah,
that
but
require our attention.
yes, I listen. I understand these are all important, but something like garden pests versus end of the world type experiences that might be going through our forest. Like, have you heard of triaging? It's when you don't just consider the length of the age of the request, it's the severity. So much like this tree, triaging is important.
Yeah.
That was so great. Oh, the puns.
Requests are seen as they are brought forward. Otherwise, people are left waiting for their requests to be heard.
And I'm just going to start filling in 500 requests.
Everyone gets a voice in Humblewood. I'm sure you can appreciate that.
I start taking out all of my blog paper and start making requests that are save the world, save the world, save the world, save the world.
You are seeing the council tomorrow morning.
I know, but you don't see the flaw in your system.
Sir Basil chimes in and says, "Is there, by chance, is there any way for us to see the council today?"
Make a persuasion check.
That is a
That's
nat
a
one.
crit fail.
He'll put his hand, like his whole hand, over his schedule that you can see is today. As I said, tomorrow morning, you took out what needed to be seen tomorrow morning, and it's filled with yours, as opposed to the next request on the list. I understand the severity of it, but the council does know of these files. You are not bringing new news at this point regarding the files.
So what if a fire happened here? Would you then wait because it's the most recent
The
request?
council is trying to avoid a fire from happening here.
We all are.
We all are indeed. The news will be heard tomorrow morning. That is the best I can do to honor my end of the deal that we made because you upheld your end.
All right. All right.
And unless you require anything else, I'm going to ask that you Come to the plaza tomorrow just after dawn. Be prepared to speak with the council first thing in the morning. Now please take the spider head off of my desk.
Do I do it?
I mean, do you want to keep the spider head? Like, is it?
Bless you.
Oh, thanks.
What was your plan with the spider head?
But just drag it on the ground so like it leaves like a bloody trail.
Ew.
Gross.
Sure. Yeah.
Ew. All right. As you exit the magistrate's office, cutting to individual market team. Camembert.
All right, I'm gonna send you a quick message and let you decide which of these you want to handle, or in what order.
Is a terrifying.
Thanks, India wants to hear.
They're pretty quick. I don't want to eat up too much time, is what I'm suggesting. So I figure we could start with the baubles. I would like to go get some baubles for Apoc's hats. So I'll just collect some like super cheap. If anything, like if I find stuff off like the side of the street, like someone dropped like something and like, oh, this could work, and like I'll just scavenge and pick up what I can.
Broken keychains. I love it.
Like it's tchotchkes, like discarded tchotchkes is the level of stuff that I'm looking for the.
Yeah, easy enough to do. There's like the equivalent of like, there's the equivalent of like a value village where you can just go for pennies and get all these baubles. Like in the trunk market, there's definitely stuff on the side of the road. Like it's full. It's a tent city.
My
desires.
intent is to not spend any money on this at all.
Yeah, not a problem. You can definitely find, like you described, Apoc.
The second thing I'd like to do is go find a pair of gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Touching a bunch of stuff. I don't know if I can find the gloves I'm looking for. If not, that's cool too. I don't want to like put it, but that's what I'm going to look for.
Yeah, okay. The third request, easy enough to do. You could either go back to the diagonal alley to Tapica.
I'd like to do that last.
Okay. So the second request, I'm going to get you to go ahead and make an investigation check to see how successful you are with this.
Investigation. 23.
Yeah.
Is that a nat 20?
No, it's 19 plus 4.
Okay, all right. Okay, so as you're moving around the trunk market, trying to get a better idea, maybe describing on the down low what it is you're looking for, you're unsuccessful until you come to kind of the lower ring of the trunk market, sort of that area between the underfall and the trunk market itself. And you kind of hit on a figure that kind of has this little stall built into the wall almost a little bit more. It's basically just a storefront with like a room in the back, and that's about it. Like a place that he lives, sleeps, and sells out of. And as you kind of slide up to this store, it's an older Vulcan, very like gray along the nose, the snout. And as you kind of describe what it is you're looking for, can't say I saw that here, but you want to push your luck.
I do.
Place farther down in the underfall that may trade in things like this. It's not necessarily as uppity up as you might appreciate, as he can slowly like slide things off of the table, things that, suspicious looking potion bottles and stuff like that.
Interesting. Are you looking for interesting chemicals, products, sundries that can be used in more potions? Like, are you looking to trade? Is there something maybe that I could have of interest in exchange? I've just come into possession of some fairly unique spider blood that I think you, as a potion seller or someone of your kind, would take much interest in, for something as simple as a pair of dark gloves.
Does the spider blood have any properties that I could know about?
Well, the spider that I took it off of could, well, it just appeared out of nowhere. Could kind of flash out of nowhere.
Interesting.
And it was also about 20 feet tall or something like that. So it was a pretty big spider.
20 feet tall, huh? So if I did have these black gloves you're looking for in exchange for spider blood, anything else you might be able to offer at this time?
Figured 100 gold would go along nice to grease the wheels.
You can see his ears kind of like perk up a little bit and then shift almost, not in the best way as he kind of like leans forward. Make a persuasion check for me.
Oh, here we go.
You can do it.
21.
Ooh.
Tell you what, I don't have what you're looking for right now, but I know what to get it. You're able to come back during the festival tomorrow, bring what you've promised, and I will have them for you.
Sounds good. You have yourself a deal.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. By the way, I didn't catch your name.
It's fine.
Okay. Well, if you're wondering, I'm someone of interest as well. And if you want to know my name, I will tell it to you tomorrow. And I wink and I walk away.
You hear like the shutters close as you walk away. You turn back and the stall is like locked up for the night kind of situation.
Cool.
Do we know what festival's tomorrow? I don't know if I missed that.
It's the festival of the Dawn Mother and the Night Father that the Flip Flips are coming to.
Okay, yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
You can even Camembert start to see like decorations being hung.
Oh,
throughout the
lovely. Lovely.
All right, the third one.
Last one. I'd like to find an enchanter or an illusionist that can cast some spells. In particular, if I can find one, I would like one that is able to cast the spell Magic Mouth.
Okay.
And if I can find them, I'd like to pay for their services to cast this spell on my good old friend's bow, so that every time he fires an arrow, the mouth appears on the bow and says, "Check out my boar log."
Yes.
You're able to make your way back to Tabitha's, the potion maker, the apothecary, and on this request, she recognizes you from before, from yesterday, and recognizes the bow, and kind of thinks for a second, and it's just like, I like it. I think you would appreciate it. He's the fun one. I like you too. You're kind of fun too.
Fun one.
You're gonna need like a day with it. It's a pretty simple enchantment, not a problem. I'm gonna need a day with it, and then depending on the materials I use, we're gonna come up with a cost on that. Is that cool?
Sounds great.
Great. Okay, give me the bow.
I hand her the bow.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, she'll work on that for you overnight.
All right. See you tomorrow. And I rejoin the group.
All right. So unless you want to meet somewhere specific group, you can all reconvene perhaps right outside the magistrate's office in the council plaza up in the canopy. It's like mid-afternoon-ish, sort of. Getting into like a dinner time kind of situation, just based on what you've talked about, what you've done. Is there anything else that you wanted to do today? Otherwise, we can just fast forward to the next thing you'd like to do.
Cam, you got my bow?
Well, I brought it into the shop to get it polished to make it look nice for you.
Oh.
Little,
I guess if we stay here the night, we're probably not going to need it.
little early birthday present.
Okay. Can't believe you remembered.
I knew it was coming up. It's the same day as the festival.
Yeah. No. Actually, it's the day after.
Crap. Well, you know, early presents for a special guy like you.
Oh,
Apoc will remember this.
Dace, did you want to do anything in particular? I don't know if you ever actually got to the spa the other day.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. No. No, I think I'm good. I'm good. I'm broke. I spent all my money on my cosmetic.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy.
Can't do anything.
Did you want to buy something? Like, is there anything on your list?
No, nothing in particular. I'll have to, nothing in particular.
Is there, I do have interest.
Mhm.
Is there any, like, adventurers guild or, like, a hunting guild where they seek prey kind of thing, like trophies, like trophy hunter type style, where if you come back with like this kill, they'll reward you.
Interesting.
thing is, we have this giant spider head.
Well, and that's why I grabbed the fangs. I wanted to bring them back.
Yeah.
Like as a trophy.
I'm gonna say make an investigation check only to see like how long it might take you to find what you're looking for.
Fuck yeah, nat 20 plus 1.
Jesus, all right.
We're on fire. Non-combat. We're rolling like
This is my dice.
nice.
You go to the concierge desk at the Golden Galleon and ask that specific question. And the same, I believe it was a Corvum female, like paying for grad school kind of situation at the desk is like, oh, absolutely.
Is her drawer filled with Cadbury eggs too?
No one needs to look in that drawer. It's fine. That's how I get through a day here.
Okay.
On shifts. So yes, you are looking for the Sharpened Arrow. They are an adventurers guild. You can find their headquarters in the ring above the trunk market itself. It's kind of, sort of where all of the other headquarters go. They do have, I believe, like all guilds, kind of a meeting hall. They have their schedule posted outside, but if you hurry, you might be able to catch a couple members. Good luck.
All right.
Enjoy your stay in Humblewood.
Thanks. I hope you and Cadbury have wonderful chicks.
Oh my god. Alright. So if you're making your way to the, I rated it now, what did I say? Sharpened Arrow?
Sharpened Arrow.
Sharpened Arrow?
Yeah.
Is everyone heading with Apoc as well?
I guess. Should I keep the head for this meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, I will keep my spider head.
Okay. So as all of you make your way to this place, the headquarters of the Sharpened Arrow as described, there's this emblem kind of on the outside, like window. Kind of looks like somebody's house that's been converted into a headquarters. And it is of this raptor that's been silhouetted by like 2 crossed arrows. And as you knock on the door and go to head in, it is kind of like a meeting space. There is a really beautiful bar just off the door to the left, where you can see kind of what you're looking for, like trophies on the wall. Beast trophies, all bestiary of weird things. You see like a pair of horns, very crooked, very gnarled and twisted. You can see what you identify as like ember bat wings.
Okay.
A pair of ember bat wings that look like they're still almost living flame. And you can see a couple of raptors. You haven't quite encountered a whole lot of raptors, but a couple of raptors, like a golden eagle, a falcon type bird folk, sorry, is what I'm trying to say, kind of seated at a table, just sort of talking, kind of going over some notes that sort of look up as you come in. They're dressed in this very deep navy tunic. You can see like a quiver at their hip. You can see like a crossbow kind of hung on the wall. Instead of a coat rack, it's like a weapons rack where they put all their weapons when they walk in. And they'll kind of all look over at you with like the big eyeballs of raptors.
Hello, gents.
And the lady.
And ladies, gents and ladies.
How can we help you?
You got some fine specimens on the wall here. Sorry, pardon my accent. I don't know why I went that road. It's infectious.
It's fine. You fit right in.
Beautiful trophies. Actually came by seeing if you're interested in another one.
Sure. They'll kind of like look at each other. Not every. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Oh, my name's Apoc of the Guardians of the. We haven't figured that out yet. We're Guardians.
Right.
Yeah. Is everybody here?
I'm assuming everybody went in case somebody says no, but.
Yeah.
The Guardians, eh?
Yeah. Work in progress.
Yeah, you should work on that.
What's your name?
I'm Clara. I am the headhunter here. This is Danya.
I love it.
And this is Stefan. Gesturing to the two raptors on the either side of her. All right, so Guardians, you have a trophy to add to our wall. That's a very strange request.
Well, do you guys? I don't know. Are you collectors?
We're a collective of hunters. We go out to make sure that Humblewood is safe, and by doing so, we definitely find a few unique items that we add to our collection. So I guess we are a collective of collectors, one might say.
Do you pay for specimens? Kind of looking for a place to get rid of some phase spider parts.
Phase spider.
So you are interested.
I don't know if we've encountered a phase spider before. You can kind of like hear them almost like clicking, just sort of thinking. We've had a couple of displacer snakes. We've had a couple of ash beasts and flame beasts. Not a phase spider. I think we would definitely be interested. We normally only have members contribute, but if you're interested in contributing, what do you have to contribute?
I'd pull it out to show them. The jaw of a phase spider.
It's just a single fang, or is it like?
I was trying to rip out the bottom jaw,
Okay.
like just cut it out with a knife.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like the two fangs plus fleshy bits.
Yeah. But making sure there's still green phase spider parts there, just so it's identified.
So like they're all kind of like. Yeah. Assuming this was a recent kill, since it doesn't look like you've cleaned it much.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit on the gross side.
Sorry, I'm a little bit green in this too.
Normally when we get specimens, they've been sort of handled a bit well. You've kind of broken the exoskeleton a bit on the mandible there. Doesn't look super great. But if we clean this up properly, we might be able to at least put it on display. You're looking to sell then?
Sell or trade?
Well, we don't really have a whole lot for trade unless you see something on the wall you want to switch for.
Are you still active? Do you still hunt a lot? You got any retired soldiers here? You know, somebody that might be looking to pass down an item or two?
I mean, when you're a member of the guild, you're a member of the guild. But we've had a few people who have given up adventuring. A couple people in Brackenmill, a couple people, I think maybe in Alderheart if they haven't moved out already. You're welcome to try and. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you where they live exactly as someone I'm not sure of, but if you're interested, might be able to get them back here if you're interested for a trade, but anything that they have deemed worthy to show is what you see on the wall. What are you looking for? Like something in particular, Apoc, or something unique? Because everything is unique on
New
this wall.
boots.
New boots?
Yeah. How about
Tell you
this?
what,
Okay, no, I guess you go first.
we give the shoemaker a lot of good business here in town. And if you're willing to give this up, I might be able to ask the shoemaker to give you a better deal.
Sure, that sounds good.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out how to handle this.
What if you write me a letter of recommendation?
I mean, our agreement is a little more on the verbal side. How about this? If you go to the shoemaker, you find something that you like there, we'll be able to reimburse you for what this is appraised at as soon as we're able to clean it up. Does that sound fair?
Sounds great.
Sorry, what was your name again?
Apoc.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, Clara. And Daniel and Steven.
And guardians, I guess. You know, if you're thinking of a name, there's like a open mic night, Toastmasters kind of thing that you can go to. I think, what's Kariga's bar's name again? The Hopping Stump in the Trunk Market. They usually do a good job for trying to workshop something. That's how we got our name.
What's your name?
Sharp and Arrow.
Oh, the bar. I thought you had, like, your group had.
Sharp and Arrow is our guild name.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Are you guys associated with the sharpest knife?
The blacksmith, I mean, we give them a lot of business, but damn it, this is why I need to make names ahead of time.
I was
Sorry.
just checking. I wasn't sure if it was like a franchising thing. Then we could be the sharpest guardians. Like that would we could branch out if there's like licensing fees that we need to know about.
I mean,
Sponsorships.
yeah,
We can get
Proof
sponsorship
that-
deals.
don't actually have proof that you killed the spider other than the fact that you gave me a pretty mangled mandible, but
There's plenty more where that came from.
Who
you
would,
bring a lot of cool stuff. Maybe we can, if you want to be part of the guild, there's always that option.
who wanted
So
for the guild?
Basil asks, so is your guild located all over Humblewood?
We definitely have places all over Humblewood. Like I said, Brackenmill is kind of an offshoot. Here's our main headquarters. So, you know, once a year we have our conference and everybody comes to Alderheart. The grand time where we talk about all of the things that we've done over the past year or two. We do have some travelers from Salter's Port that usually take care of the sea creatures that we don't always see this far into the woods. But, I mean, we're a guild like any other. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Sir Basil.
Basil, all right, so you look like you look like a very accomplished bunch, and she'll kind of like eye each of you, particularly the Damascus great axe held by your barbarian Strig.
Oh. Sir Basil asks, so what does one need to do in order to join the guild? As you can see, we are quite skilled hunters. And he kind of just like, maybe he like, kind of adjusts the straps of the sack, and maybe a fang from the spider head like falls on his shoulder. He like brushes his back and kind of like has to go like that.
Well, I mean, there's you want to be a member, anyone can join. There's definitely some membership fees that you need to worry about. There's definitely like I don't want to say like a quota, but you're expected to contribute to the wall of unique things if you're part of our guild. But we need to make sure that you are made of the metal you claim to be made of, Sir Basil. So if you do come across interesting things and you are able to take a prize, you're more than welcome to give you a bit more details on our guild as soon as Andrea has a chance to look up and write out what it takes to join a guild.
For sure.
For example, that I'm assuming that's a spider head. Your cut is a little bit weird on the spider head itself, and if you wanted to get like a clean cut in order to make sure that it's, mountable, we could teach you how, for example. A little bit rough.
It's not a bad skill to learn.
For the low price of 20 coin.
Yes.
Membership fee.
I've already charged your credit cards until you come back for your actual class.
Cool.
But yeah, if you're interested, you're more than welcome back.
We'll keep that in mind. And so Basil kind of just like adjusts his sack again.
Sounds like a plan. Hope to see more of you. You seem like an interesting bunch. And whenever you've done your thing, make sure you come back knocking.
Do you know what the shoemaker's name is? I just want to make sure I get the right one. Sorry.
Lee. Limon.
Limon?
Limon Schumacher.
Oh, perfect.
Wait, the shoemaker's name is Schumacher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they became a shoemaker.
This is why I'm not in charge of like making up study names or anything like that at my work. I just write the protocol.
Oh, you're doing fantastic, dude. I'm just having fun.
This is exactly what we want out of it. Anyways, we love this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Okay, but we were just closing up. We had our meeting. We're kind of wanted to head back to our family. So if you don't mind, we'll see you later. Maybe at the festival tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping by. Guardians, maybe. Hopefully you have a name, but it's fine. See you next time.
Bye. We leave.
Bye.
We head out.
Anybody else wanted to do anything?
Don't think so. I'll hold on to the spider head.
The equivalent of saying goodbye in D&D is like when you say goodbye to your friends, but then you both walk the same direction.
Yeah. Bye. That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe we
Right.
spend the rest of the night going back and visiting Eliza's shop, just hanging out with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sounds really nice.
Can we bring like a bottle of wine back? Celebrate her first day
Absolutely.
or second day? I forget at this point.
So you've been in Alderheart for a total of a single day.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is like your second day in Alderheart. The festival, when you talk to Jace from the Flip Flips,
Yeah.
the festival is 3 days away. So tomorrow is going to be the festival. We've only been in Alderheart for 2 days. Which means you left Eliza like 2 evenings ago. And as you go to like knock on her door, she'll kind of like look up almost distractedly over her shoulder as she's in like a very, very like matronly apron, Mrs. Q, very reminiscent of your own, as she's got like her hair is kind of like covered in dust, and it smells faintly of like lemon cleaning products as you step into her shop. And Man, am I happy to see you. There is like so much dust in this place. I've been sneezing all day and I could use a break.
Do you want some help?
That sucks.
I could use a break and then maybe we can help. Like, that sounds fine. I'm not going to put you to work. You guys look really tired. It's been an eventful couple days, huh?
Yeah, you
You
can
can
say
tell her
that.
all about it.
Check out the
You,
spiders.
yeah, what's on your back, Basil? It's like I just cleaned these floors, man.
Oh, sorry.
Just like, can you just like put it on the entry rug? Just let it sit. That's gross. What is that?
I assume we tell her all about.
All right. She'll like, whoever brought the wine, she will uncork it for you.
I'll drop a good like 10 gold on a nice bottle.
You have to do.
Wow, big spender.
Hey, we gotta celebrate once in a while.
Yeah.
He's young, he's liberal with his money still. Doesn't have to get loans.
I think I spent all of my money.
On your frying pan.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Cool.
That's fair. You're definitely able to spend like really good nights with Eliza, just chatting it up. She's definitely happy to see you after 2 days of solid cleaning. She doesn't willingly go back to work unless you kind of offer multiple times and almost force her to go back to work. But as it sort of nears, dinner time, getting into kind of the late evening, she'll sort of just say, this place, I think my sister would be really happy with how this place has turned out. And I really couldn't have done it without you guys. So just thanks. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
What's the store's name again?
Well, when it was my sister's store, it was kind of named after her. So it was
What's her name?
At the time it was Lara's Emporium. But I think it needs a bit of a name change.
What are you thinking?
Well, names are hard. I don't know if I want to just change it to Eliza's Emporium, but that seems kind of like the best route right
What
now.
about the sharpest Eliza?
I feel like that's been done before. Doesn't really feel like me, Have you guys got a group name yet? Last time it was the Fur Real Friends, and that.
What about Suppliza by Eliza?
It's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad idea. Maybe I can like focus group it. Maybe I'll see if it like gains enough interest because we are in the canopy market.
Well, supplies on demand.
We can workshop it. It's okay.
Cricket.
I mean, my sister had her name in it, so I feel like I should have my name in it.
Something hipster like Eliza's Closet.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one.
What about Eliza about the prices?
But I'm not lying about the price.
No, but they're so good. You would think that you're lying.
We're in the canopy market. I don't know if gold is like, the biggest obstacle here.
You hear that, kid?
What about you guys? Please tell me you're not still the For Real Friends.
We're the guardians of.
We all just like look at one another. We haven't figured that part out yet.
It's just we're the guardians of.
The guardians of?
Guardians of the
Yeah.
Reach. Guardians of, I don't know. There's the Humble Guardians. There's the Bumble Guardians.
Bumble Guardian.
This is cute. You've been letting them talk a little too much.
The Quill Guardians.
This is when Mrs. Q pulls out her thesaurus, which she purchased,
Yes.
and starts looking for words. So continue. I'll be back.
I probably shouldn't be asking for advice on a name from the For Real Friends. I feel like that's a bad idea.
For real friends.
For real.
Pardon?
We're not the for real friends anymore. That was just a phase.
Just a phase. All right. Well, you know, we all have those awkward phases. But I will say, if you're up for it, I know a really good place that'll help the like creative juices flow. It may involve drinking more.
Yeah.
As in, it may actually be like a drinking contest, but a little friendly competition, and you're like good to go. Who's in? I can use a break from cleaning. Please don't make me look at this place for another night.
Days, I'm in if you're in.
I'm in it if Miss Q and Basil are in.
What? Mrs. Q only drinks tea.
You can make money.
I'm too old for these games. I'll sit out. Mrs. Q would never play a drinking game. She's old and creaky and wants to take a nap.
Well, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not going to force you, Mrs. Q, but that's fair. But there's this really good pub that I know here. It's called the Hopping Stump. It's in the Trunk Market. My sister definitely told me about it. It's the place to be on a weeknight and a weekend night. Every night's a weekend night at the Hopping Stump. It's great. And my sister once told me about the craziest night that she had there. And it was after one of these like drinking contests. But like you can win a lot. I know you have to buy in, but you can win like double what you buy in if you win.
What's the buy-in?
Buy-in is. My sister was here a really long time ago. We might want to go and check, but when she was here, it was like, I don't know, like 20 gold.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. And you double your money? Crazy.
If you win. Apparently she said that when she and her team went in, the last team they went up against was like crazy strong. They didn't actually win, but she had a really good time because she had a real good time.
Wait, is this a strength competition?
It's a drinking competition.
Okay,
The only strength you need is being able to like walk back to your room at the end of the night.
fair.
What's the
Okay,
group?
well,
Let's go.
But we need a group name. We need to walk in with a group name.
no, you just Dace, you gotta walk in with like an open mind, and then you that friendly competition, that adrenaline sometimes loosens everything up. Then you get a group name. As long as you enter with like enough people to compete, that's all you need.
How many people?
5.
I'm in. Let's go. So who's gonna lock up Penny Glean's boutique?
I like that one too. How can you guys not get a name for yourself? Those are 2 good ones. All right, I will look.
I figure we're all gonna throw out stuff until Mrs. Quillam gives us the okay. So
To what? Oh, with the name, you mean? Yes. I don't want to have a silly name.
You don't want it silly. It's our battle cry.
Exactly why For Real Friends just doesn't quite cut it.
Rosemary's Babies.
Oh,
Please no. You're talking about this as you're like taking the elevator back down to the Hopping Stump. Yeah. Like there's a couple other patrons in the elevator who are kind of like, especially at the Rosemary's Babies part, you see one person actually like get off a floor in advance as you make your way back down to Karika's bar. And as usual, Kriga definitely knows how to make a good environment. The karaoke stage has been replaced with like far more tables, and kind of in the middle of the bar as you walk in, there's a bit of a raised platform, just a couple steps with a long table, 5 seats on one side, 5 seats on the other side. And as you kind of make your way into Kriga's bar, you see that it has been just decked out in decorations. A lot of sigils of Andrea, the Dawn Mother, and Titan, the Night Father, all of their like holy symbols, their colors, flags for the festivals that's been kind of strung around the trunk market. And you see a lot of fresh faces, and you do actually see a couple of people you recognize from seeing the flip flips on the road, one of which being your good buddy Jace. Not Dace, Jace. And as both him and Kriga see you kind of like doing a double take for Jace anyways, raising a hand and just kind of starting to like, you're here, that's kind of cool. I knew you were going to be in Alderheart, but nice to see you again. You do remember me, right? We met on the road? Okay, cool.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you. This place is awesome. I remember coming here when we used to do the festival every year. Bless you.
Season.
It is that season. But this place is awesome. This place is cool. I'm so happy you guys. Have you been here before? You met Kriga? He's excellent.
We have.
Jace has spent quite some time here.
How long have you been here exactly? I left the road like 2 days ago.
For a couple days.
Yep.
48 hours really changes a person.
We've been here twice.
We get around.
Yeah.
Apparently. All right. Well, cool. I mean, a lot of our crew is here just enjoying the night before they have to start performing. So tomorrow the festival is going to kick off, but tonight we get to enjoy and mingle, which is always super fun. It's been a long road from Salter's Port, so if you want to grab a pint, that's great. But I know Cree said the contest is starting soon, so maybe one of our teams will be able to beat the reigning champions. And he'll kind of like give you a wink, give you a little salute, and kind of sneak back off to the table he was at before. It's packed. And as you kind of go to get a drink from the bartender, which is not Kariga this time, you see a group of very burly creatures. There's like a raptor, there's a strig. There is a very burly servant with these huge antlers. That's the deer folk of this world. This huge antlers that as he like kind of turns his head, people have to duck if they're too tall kind of situation. That sort of antlers. You do see a very small Georgina, a little bit taller than you, Basil, but definitely like looks, one of these things is not like the other sort of situation, and you can see him kind of like nestled in the antlers of this servant himself, just sort of a giant flagon in one hand as he gets dropped onto the seat next to him. And you see a trash can, and you see a raccoon.
I'm a pack.
You see him a puck. As he takes the final seat, and this team of 5 seats themselves down at the table in the middle. And as they do, there's almost this like hush that goes over the bar. And Kariga once more makes an appearance, kind of like rubbing sleep from his eyes. He looks like he did the sleep during the day, up at night to serve at the bar kind of situation. And he'll just kind of open his arms. He's wearing this like silk taupey colored shirt tonight, more of a popped collar, suspenders sort of situation as he kind of opens up his arms. Thank you all for joining us on the eve of this festival. It's very nice to see all of your faces. And I have to say, I'm very excited for this since it's been a couple years since we've actually done this. We'd like to welcome those performing at the festival tomorrow, and we'd like to welcome back the reigning champions of our contest to kick off the festival. We are going to basically open up the floor to see if anyone thinks they are brawn enough to take on the team you see before you. Not gonna name them, the team you see before you, for a test of constitution, one might say. I promise you the ale is good, it will be flowing all night, and this is just gonna get the party started. So, who would like to test their mettle against the team from Salter's Port? Anyone? No?
Very good.
Is this one-on-one or is this group on group?
I think it's group on group.
Yeah.
Okay.
One group, but we need a fifth person because Miss Q is out.
We got
It's the 4 of us plus Eliza.
yeah, we got Eliza. If Miss Q doesn't want to.
I would say Miss Q's probably harder than me. This is a test of constitution.
All right.
Show us that you're not just an old lady and can really slam them back with the rest of us.
Just an old lady. Oh,
Eric,
you
check your
regret
messages.
calling me that.
I will do. Can we be like this? The spice cards.
Oh gosh.
Listen, I would be fine with the spice cards.
We got rosemary. We got basil. Dace is a fish that you could spice up real nice.
Dace, yeah.
Yeah.
Dace, yeah.
No takers? Nobody wants to take on this team?
We can do it.
Spice cards.
All right. Mrs. Q dusts off her apron and straightens her petticoat and says, all right, let's throw down, as the young'uns say.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, damn.
Krieg will kind of give you a look and sort of look at the hush around the bar. All right, yes, let's get ready to throw down, as the youngins say. Please welcome up, I'm sorry, the spice guards. Is that, are you sure you want to go? Please welcome up the spice guards. You need a team of 5. And as soon as you take your seat, I will tell you the rules.
I have a small bladder. Can I go to the washroom first?
Sure, I'll get somebody to fill you in on the rules. Okay, go ahead.
As I go to the washroom, I go invisible,
Okay,
and I'd like to sneak back in,
okay,
and I'd like to sneak something into the keg.
okay.
Oh boy.
All right, you're gonna sneak something in. Make a stealth check.
All right, this is where I'm a Viking. 17.
All right. Okay, 17. They will.
Do you get advantage being invisible?
You do.
Oh, I
get
do.
advantage
I
as
do.
well, yeah.
23.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not gonna write
That's-
this down.
That's the cam we know.
All right. All right. No problem. Whatever you're gonna do,
Okay.
you do you, Camembert.
And then I'll come back nonchalantly after I've inserted something into the main keg that they're drawing the booze from.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, all right. The 5 of you have your seats, and you all kind of sit across. Okay, good. I have to look. Okay. So there is a raptor, there's a strig, there is a servant, a gerbine, and a Apoc. Who would like to go against who?
I want to sit in front of the other strig.
I got
Okay.
the back.
Okay.
I go in front of the Jervine.
Who's left?
Servant.
A raptor, a strig, a servant, a gerbine, and name Apoc.
Servant and raptor.
Which of the two left is the scariest looking?
There's Basil, Apoc took from Apoc.
Raptors are pretty big.
Jace took the strig. Okay, so between the servant and the raptor, the servant is like very white-tailed deer, huge antlers. Is kind of like the Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Go with that image in your mind.
Okay.
The raptor is a little more subdued, kind of in like leathers and furs, more tawny feathers, more like a falcon, a peregrine falcon kind of coloration, and it's just kind of sitting very, kind of just looking around, taking everything in, very quiet comparatively. Whereas the rest of their teammates are kind of like banging on the table, like shouting and hollering, getting ready to defend their title.
Mrs. Q chooses the scarier one.
Which is what?
The servant?
The servant? Okay.
Yeah. The scarier one.
Okay, so the servant, the
Yeah.
big antler.
With the big antlers?
Yep.
Okay, Mrs. Q. And
She
then
has the
Cannon
glass,
Bear,
like
eyes him up. Fair.
Love it.
Cannon Bear, you are gonna take the raptor, I take it?
Sounds good.
Does that mean Eliza's just like watching?
I'll go to try and figure out where Eliza is, and she's already like seated at a table talking to another, what you now realize is an Illurian, the same species as her, this cat folk in this world. And she's sort of like chatting them up, kind of very animatedly talking about what at this point you can't quite tell. And after you take your seats, Kariga kind of looks over. All right, folks. Rubs his hands together. Here are the rules. They're very simple. And as he starts explaining, a few of his serving staff kind of come and start putting flagons on the table. They're huge, like big Stein type flagons of what smells very much like a honey mead. It's actually smelling quite delicious, very sweet, but something you definitely want. All right, so the buy-in, we're going a little bit more expensive this time, so the pot is far greater for the winner. It's going to be 50 gold a team, winner takes all. Very easy to do. All you gotta do is finish off your 5 flagons before the other team finishes theirs. And we're going to go down the line one at a time. So as soon as the person ahead of you finishes, the next person can.
Mrs. Q had finally cottoned on to what's going on, because at this point she didn't really know what she was sitting down for. She just didn't like that Cam called her an old lady.
Oh.
So now she's like really regretting sitting in front of the giant seven.
Fair.
I imagine when they put the flagon down or the drinks down in front of me and the other Durbin, we can't even see each other anymore. We're just like.
Yeah, exactly. Like these things are big. Right? Any questions? We're all good with the rules?
Wait, we splitting it 10 gold each?
I got this, and I'll put the 50 gold out for everybody.
That's
All
great. Mrs. Q's pretty broke right now.
That's fair.
Sounds good.
You can see the other team kind of collecting like 10 gold per and sort of mashing it together, sliding it on the table towards Kariga at the other end of the table. And he's like, all right, kind of looking it over, making sure, counting out, putting into piles. He kind of looks over at the rest of the bar, who's been sort of like clapping, cheering, talking excitedly. Music. And there's a player that's going to start playing in the corner with the lutes and some pan flutes. And you can kind of hear everybody start like banging on the tables, getting excited more and more and more. Krieg is going to raise one hand on the count of 3. Sean.
I know this song.
As
It's
well.
Like a Servant by Madonna.
No, it's not. On the count of 3. 1, 2, go! go. And Camembert, I need a constitution check from you as you start drinking.
It's a 6.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Cam and the Raptors start chugging back their beer at the one end of the table. Cam is about halfway through by the time the Raptor bangs theirs down and just kind of like scratches the end of their beak as Cam is struggling to finish before placing his down. Just started, the room's going a little spinning almost instantly, Cam.
It's happening again.
Yeah, exactly. And next one's go. Dace, I need a constitution check from you.
11.
Dace, you not the fastest you've ever drank a drink, but you are able to finish it and slam it down. You are a little worried that you're behind before you realize the string on the opposite side of you has almost downed his before unfortunately throwing it all back up beside him because he drank a little too fast and rolled a natural 1.
Oh. Party foul. Party foul.
And go, Mrs. Q. Constitution check for me, please.
So it's just along the top, the number
Yes.
that's okay.
For Constitution.
It'd be under your saving throws.
Under saving throw?
Yeah. So
It's a saving throw?
No, this is a check.
Oh.
I'm going with checks for this.
Oh, okay.
sorry, I thought you said saving throw. My bad.
10.
10. Mrs. Q kind of like taking the time to adjust your glasses as you go to start drinking. By the time you're about halfway done and take the flagon down to kind of take a little bit of a breath, you see the servants slam theirs down, just letting out this huge belch as they have beaten you and finished their flagon first. But the honey mead is very good. You do notice.
I do like mumble under my breath, oh, there's no need to be so vulgar.
And continue sipping?
Yeah, very slowly. Just like
Right. Yeah, definitely taking your time to enjoy it is probably the better way to go.
I pull out a biscuit.
Okay. You pull out this, perfect. Kariga kind of like whooping and shouting even more as you finish up, looking to the two Gerbeans. Ready, set, go. Constitution check.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's a 4.
That's a 4 total.
You've lost.
Yeah.
Give me a quick second here. Let's see if there's. Ah.
Could you use your all or
It's
nothing?
rough for both of you Gerbeans as it's a little bit hard to actually like tip the flagon, so you kind of just like dip your snout into it. But you are able to finish yours a split second faster than the Gerbine who rolled a 3.
Wow. Okay.
And finally looking towards the two Apocs at the end, Kariga, last one.
You can do it, Apoc.
16.
Yeah.
Woo!
Apoc, fastest out of everybody, chugs it back, slams it down, and does a huge whoop as the Apoc on the other side. As the Apoc on the other side takes a little bit of an extra time to finish theirs before kind of looking like a little bit gnarled and angry, growling a little bit at their defeat as you narrowly won in a 3-2 battle, head to head. And the bar just kind of erupts as they realize it's a new winner. Kariga kind of taking the closest person, which would have been Cam, and like holding your hand up in victory. And
Like
as he does, the 10 of you at this table who drank from the keg where the honey mead was poured from suddenly start to get a little bit of a lift in your tummies as Kariga holds your hand up, Camembert, and kind of like takes your whole body with him and letting go of you. The 10 of you are just kind of floating there.
No.
We came here to party.
The bar just erupts as you are now able to levitate for who knows how long. And the other team looking very confused, trying to like maneuver. And after about 30 seconds, the levitation kind of drops and you just sort of land back wherever it was you fell. Then Kuryu kind of like gives a huge round of applause, gives a whoop, and then whoever the closest person is, Dace. At this point, Kuryu will kind of toss towards you a pouch of the 100 gold that you won by winning the drinking contest at his bar. Whoever the closest person, Cam, Dace, you're two right there, whoever got there first. I'm assuming that Cam is not doing so hot right now.
No, I'm doing terrible.
Yeah. And with that, the players in the corner, the music starts to beat back up again. A lot of that murmur that takes over a bar when people are having a really good time, the music blaring, the environment just really, really good. And every so often you can hear Kariga's laugh from one end of the bar, very hearty laugh, and Jace and his band of flip-flips who have maybe had a little too much to drink and are starting to kind of like hang from the rafters of this place and, do a couple cartwheels on the desk, flipping from one to the other of a table, really making it lively and interesting in the hopping stump this evening before the festival.
You ever hear like there's like those clubs where like they'll like just fill the whole place with like bubbles?
No, I have never heard of that.
Phone parties. The phone party.
Yeah,
phone party.
parties.
My
The
uncle-
Basil's going crazy. He gets his like pipe of endless bubbles. It just fills the place full of bubbles.
Perfect. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, it definitely fits in and gets a lot of people very, very, very excited. But it's just a really good time.
Mrs. Q during the levitation is like, if others are like, everyone's hooting and hollering about it, and maybe other people are like kind of pumped that they're levitating, she's so unimpressed that she's levitating because she is like trying desperately to control her skirts, to keep everything. It's like, this, I did not dress for this. When she like finally falls down to her seat, her like clothes are like, she's like desperately trying to get herself back into a presentable again.
That's very fair. It only lasts for about 30 seconds since it seems like the effect was more or less related to dose, one might say.
Yeah.
Well, she lands very flushed and a little embarrassed.
Yeah, definitely a little flushed. I don't know if you've had this much to drink all at once in a very long time, but you all are definitely having a good night.
Cool.
But unless you wanted to do or say anything else to anyone at the bar, it is 10 o'clock almost. We can end there for tonight.
Hey.
That was good.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd play a drinking game in D&D.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome.